Hi Stampers! Welcome to my YouTube channel, Get Crafty with Sally. This is Sally Poole, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. I appreciate you being here. Today we'll be making a variation of these twisted ribbon cards with the Sweet Candy Cane bundle. It includes the Sweet Candy Cane stamp set and the candy cane dies. If you buy the stamp and die set together, you do get a 10% discount on the price. So that's really a good deal. The designer series paper that I'm using over here is out of the Celebrate Everything designer series paper pack. And it is in the mini catalog, page 87. And it's actually a host set, so you can't just purchase it. You have to place an order of at least $150 or more, and then you can get it with your Stampin' Rewards. It's a great pack of paper, one of the large ones. There's 48 sheets in the pack, 4 designs of each double-sided paper. There is Christmas, Halloween, fall, 4th of July, firework blasts. So check it out. It's pretty cool. If you looked at my previous twisted ribbon video, you'll notice that the layout of this card base is a little bit different. Also, the strips that I've cut for the twisted ribbon part are a little smaller on this one. So for this project, you'll need the following: 1 piece of real red cardstock for the base, 5.5 by 8.5, and it needs to be scored at 2 3/8 and 6 5/8, and I'll show you a little trick when I score this, my little lazy hack. You'll also need 2 pieces of basic black cardstock, one cut at 2 1/4 by 5.5, and the other cut at 1 3/4 by 5.5. You'll also need 2 pieces of real red cardstock, one cut at 2 1/8 by 5.5, and the other cut at 1 5/8 by 5.5. You'll also need a piece of basic white cardstock for the inside. I usually cut mine at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. You'll need a scrap of distressed gold specialty paper for the piece behind the candy cane. You'll also need a scrap of the Celebrate Everything paper for the candy cane, a scrap of basic white for the sentiment, and then you'll need 8 strips of distressed gold specialty paper. Not 8, you'll need 6. And these are cut at a 1/2 inch by 2 1/4. And then you'll want to find some coordinating paper to go with this for the ribbon effect. And you also need 6 strips cut the same, 1/2 inch by 2 1/4. So you'll need a total of 16 of these little strips, 12, I don't know why I have 8 in my mind, 12 strips for 1 panel of the twisted ribbon. You'll also need about 9 inches of ribbon for the bow. I'm using the 3/8 inch real red ribbon from the real red and garden green ribbon combo pack. I do have all of the measurements in a PDF in the description box below this video. So let's get started. I've got so much stuff here everywhere and extras of things because I always mess something up. So I feel like I almost have too much stuff. So first, let's take our card base and we're going to score it. And remember, I said you would score it at 2 3/8 inches by 6 5/8. Here's my little lazy hack. I'm going to score it at 2 3/8 inches. And then flip it over and score it at 1 7/8. So that comes out the same. And then sometimes when you score things, they don't quite seem to match up right. I like to, before I make a good crease with my bone folder, kind of butt these edges up against each other and then crease it. Then you've got the perfect closure there. So let's do our little tick marks on our piece of paper. So you'll want the smaller piece of the 2 red papers. And you're going to want to place tick marks every 1/2 inch along this paper with a pencil. And it's kind of hard to see on the red. Certainly a lot easier on the white paper. So we're going to do a 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1 1/2, 2, 2 1/2, 3, 3 1/2, 4, 4 1/2, and 5. Flip it over and do the same thing. And I do have a picture of this in the PDF so you can see what it looks like. And I think I did it on a piece of white paper. Okay, so there's our little marks. And like I said, they're a little harder to see than when we did it on the white paper. So let's get our little strips ready here. And I'm going to bring in a silicone craft mat, just so I don't get glue all over the paper. And for this first layer, you can actually place the glue on this piece of paper on your panel instead of the little strips. And we're going to put some glue on from the upper left corner down to the first tick mark on the right, in between the first and second tick mark. And then we're going to lay our strip in between the tick marks, and hard to see with this light ring in front of my head, but right up to the top of that corner. So let's put some more glue on here. You're going to skip a space. This is a brand new bottle of glue, so it's coming out quite a bit. Okay, we'll place that between our tick marks and line it up with the tick mark up here and the next one. So it really is an easy process. I know it looks kind of complicated and scary when you see the cards, you're like, oh my gosh, I have no idea how they did that. But it really isn't that bad. And then our last little piece down here. And you don't have to have these exactly straight on these tick marks. Nobody's ever going to be able to tell if they're not. Okay, so it's best to actually let this dry a little bit, but of course I'm not going to today. So let's cut this bottom piece down a little bit because we're going to want to be able to see down here. And I always get a little extra piece where I didn't quite angle it right, which is fine. All right, so now let's take our designer series paper check it out before we start gluing. I don't want all the gingerbread men stuck together. Well, it looks like I've got one on just about every piece, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so now this time I'm going to put the glue right on the paper. This is where the mess comes in. So you want to line it up right at the bottom of this corner up to the top of the right hand corner. Well, my brand new glue bottle doesn't want to go anymore. So the next one you want to line up. I got glue all over there. Right where those meet, and then down here where this crosses. When I originally decided to make another one of these twisted ribbon cards with the candy cane set, I was going to use the Sweetest Christmas designer series paper pack that coordinates with the candy cane set. And I did, I don't know, 3 or 4 different panels of the ribbon with that paper on it, and I just wasn't crazy about any of them. Here's one of them. I'll probably keep trying to make something work with it, but like I said, I just wasn't very happy with it. So match these up where they cross. Gosh, I'll have to remember not to get a new glue bottle next time. It's really oozing everywhere. Thank goodness it dries clear. So here's the last one. So that's what that'll look like. So you can either start cutting all these edges off, or you can set it aside and let it dry first, which is what I prefer, because they will maybe slide a little bit. I do have another one that I did ahead of time, so we can use this one. So now let's adhere our panel. I'm going to get rid of this slick craft mat. Let's adhere our panel to the smaller piece of basic black cardstock. It is the 1 3/4 by 5.5. And these are all the same height, so everything is 5.5 inches. So you're just going to end up with a little bit of black on either side of the twisted ribbon part. And then for the left hand side, let's emboss this. And I am using the Snowflake embossing folder from the Wintry 3D embossing folder set. This actually comes with 2 in the set, and they're smaller than the normal ones. So I'm going to put a piece of real red in here. It is the 1 5/8 by 5.5, and I've got my plate 1 and my embossing folder with the paper, and my plate 4. Hopefully this will hold still on here. This really does a nice job of embossing. I don't know if you can see it on here or not, but it really is pretty. So let's put, you could either glue that or adhere it with tape. I'm just going to put some tape on it. And I will adhere that to my black panel that is 2 1/4 by 5.5. I should have put glue on it because I probably am going to want to scooch it around a little bit. Nope, got lucky. Okay, so let's adhere our panels to the base. I should put my piece of white cardstock on the inside of the card also, because I always forget to do that. The last video I made with the holly leaves set, I actually at the very end of the video forgot to attach the little holly berries to the card, and I was just mortified, of course, when I realized it, but it was too late. And I don't have any wonderful editing software where I can go cut things out or add things in. I suppose that's something I should look into. So it doesn't matter which way this goes. You might like it better this way. It does have a little bit different of a pattern. Okay, so let's put our piece of basic white inside. Okay, got that out of the way. So now let's take our piece of distressed gold specialty paper, and I'm going to cut it out with this die from the Tasteful Labels set. I had a hard time finding dies where the candy cane would fit without hanging over the edge. So that's why I chose this one. I did use on the black one, this gold piece is from the Tailor Made Tags set. So we're going to need our plate 1, plate 2, that's already all cut up, our paper and our die, and another plate 2. I'll run that through. This is my favorite paper now, and it did just come back in stock. It was gone for a while. So let's attach this piece to the card front. Probably, well, obviously use way too much glue. I keep trying to break the habit, but I can't. So this, pretty much am trying to center both across and up and down. And then let's take our little piece of Celebrate Everything paper and cut our candy cane out. There's 2 candy canes in this die set, so depending on which way you want your candy cane facing, that would be the one that you would use. And I didn't pop anything up on dimensionals on this card because it's already, seems kind of thick. So we'll put some glue on our candy cane. Try to keep it at a minimum. Place our candy cane on the gold piece. And then I'm going to use the Christmas cheer sentiment for this card from the Sweet Candy Cane set, and I'm going to use Real Red. So I've got my little scrap paper. Got my stamp on my block. Ink it up. There's little pieces of glue everywhere. That looks good. So let's bring our mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss back in again. And I'm actually going to cut this die out with a die from the Hippo and Friends set, and it's this smallest one here out of this set. So I'm going to line this up, try to get it even on both sides. I'm going to put a little bit of tape on it. And we'll run that through. Oops, I got too close to the edge here. All right. So there's our sentiment. And I'm first going to, before I put the sentiment on, I'm going to put my ribbon on, my bow. And those of you that know me know that I normally glue my bows down, but today I'm going to use a glue dot. And that's going to be painful for me. Just kidding. I'm sure it'll be fine. Okay, so now that we know where that goes, we can attach our sentiment. More glue than needed again. Slide that in there. Try to get it even and straight. And then I'm going to cut the ends of this ribbon off a little bit because they're plenty long. Glued to my finger. And then for the final touch, of course, I have to put some champagne rhinestone basic jewels on. Excuse my reach. So I'm going to use a medium one, and I'll put it here, and then a small one up here, and another small one down here. I don't like to have them lined up in the same row. Okay, so I think that's it. Hopefully I didn't forget anything on this card. Let me get the one that I previously did. So here's the one where I just stopped at the black layer here. So I'm not sure which one I like better. So this one's the same card except for it has this added red layer, and then the die that I used to cut the gold piece is different. So I hope you'll give this technique a try. It really is fun. I'd love to see what you create with it. I do appreciate you watching my videos, If you feel like you're getting anything out of them, could you like them, share them, subscribe to my channel? That would be great. Help me build my channel. I appreciate you. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you next time.